Sir,
Yes,
do we have to do the statement question in section 10?
in section.
10. Those 9, 10, and
No,
11.
no. Uh, Means which type of the question?
Like a tank contains 10 gallon of brine and which 2 pounds of
No, no.
salt.
That type of the that formulation we generally not do.
Okay, sir.
So in last class, good morning, students. Welcome in next lecture of Math F211, Mathematics 3. So in last class, we were doing reduction of order. So reduction of what is the reduction of order? There we have the higher order equation, right? We have the higher order equation, or you can say second order differential equation, and from the second order differential equation, we reduce to the first order differential equation. So in last class, I have told you initially we have the second order differential equation of the form x, y, y dash, and y double dash is equal to 0. So this is the most general second order differential equation. Its special form can be 1 if the independent variable is missing, right? Independent variable is missing. And another form can be x, y dash, y double dash when dependent variable is missing. So we have the two cases. So both the cases we have discussed one by one. So when the dependent variable is missing, at that time, when dependent variable is missing, at that time we assume let y dash is equal to p. So y double dash will become the dpy dx. So this reduced to this equation reduced to f of y p and dpy dx. So reduced to first order differential equation. First order differential equation. Similarly, when
So you have to write x
we
there, f of x, p, and
x, yeah, x. So here we have the uh, reduced first order differential equation in terms of the dependent variable p and independent variable x. Now when the independent variable is missing, at that time we assume let y dash is equal to p. So it will give you y double dash is equal to dpy dx, which can be written as dpy dy and dy dx, which can be written as p dpy dy. So this will give you the result f of the y p and p dpy dy. So this with this approach we have the reduced to first order differential equation, and whatever the knowledge of the first order differential equation that you can apply. So in last class we have done this at last. So this question we have solved. Now move to another question. Find the specified particular solution. So when we have to determine the particular solution, at that time we have some initial condition of the differential equation y double dash is equal to y dash e to power y, and condition is what? Y is equal to 0 and y dash is equal to 2 when x is equal to 0. So this type of the condition is known as the initial condition. This type of condition is known as the initial condition. Right. So initial condition means at the initial condition we have the these two value. So that's why we call it as the initial condition. So in this equation, y double dash is equal to y dash ey. There is no term of the x, right? There is no explicit term of the x. So we assume y dash as a p and y double dash as a p into dp dy. So this can be written as p dpy dy is equal to p e to power y. This equation will become, so here we have the this. So now you can separate the variable. So when we separate the variable here, here we have the p and p cancel out from here. Now you can separate the variable. So we have the dp is equal to e to power y dy. Then we integrate on both sides. So on integration you will get the p e to power y plus arbitrary constant c1. And we know that p is what? It is the y dash, and y dash is dy by dx. So when we have this dy by dx, now means here we have the dy by dx is equal to e to power y plus c1. And initial condition is given to you when x is equal to 0. When x is equal to 0, right? So when x is equal to 0. So at that time, y dash is what? It is the 2. It is 2. And y is what? It is the 0. So e to power 0 plus c1. So this will give you 1. So it is c1 will come the 2 minus 1. So 2 minus 1, that is the 1. So here we put the c1 is equal to 1. So now dy by dx will become e to power y plus 1. E to power y plus 1. So now again we separate the variable. So when we separate the variable, we have the dy upon e to power y plus 1 is equal to dx. So when we integrate on both sides, we have to add the constant of integration. So it will become integral dy upon e to power y plus 1 is equal to integral dx. So if you multiply in the numerator and denominator by the e to power minus y, so here you have integral e to power minus y upon 1 plus e to power minus y dy is equal to integral dx plus c2. So now again in this we put the x is equal to 0. So when or in this we put the, okay, first we have to integrate, right? So here we have the e to power minus y upon 1 plus e to power minus y dy is equal to integral dx plus c2. So for the integration we assume let e to power minus y is equal to z. So it will give you dz is equal to minus e to power minus y dy. So when we substitute here in this equation, when we substitute, so we will get the minus integral dz upon 1 plus z is equal to integral dx plus c plus c2. So its integration is the minus of log of 1 plus z is equal to x plus c2. X plus c2. So here now we resubstitute the value of the z. So it will become minus log of 1 plus e to power minus y is equal to x plus c2. Now in this you put x is equal to 0. Here you put the x is equal to 0. So when x is equal to 0, y is 0. So here you will get the minus log of 1 plus e to power 0 is equal to 0 plus c2. That will give you c2 is equal to minus of log 2. So when we put c2 is equal to, or c2 is equal to minus of log 2, so here you will get the minus log of 1 plus e to power minus y plus x minus log 2. X minus log 2. So if you take the log 2 on the left hand side and apply the formula of the log, so it will become log of 2 upon 1 plus e to power minus y is equal to x, and that can be written as 2 upon 1 plus e to power minus y is equal to e to power x, and that can also be written as e to power minus y is equal to 2 e to power minus x, right? 2 e to power minus x minus 1 means this can be written as 2 upon e to power x is equal to 1 plus e to power minus y. So that is the 2 e to power minus x minus 1 is equal to e to power minus y. So that can be written as y is equal to minus log of 2 e to power minus x minus 1. So so you can see here we haven't no arbitrary constant, right? Here we have no arbitrary constant. So in the particular solution, never we write the arbitrary constant, because in the particular condition, for the particular condition, we have computed the value of the arbitrary constant. So this is the particular solution. So this is known as the particular solution. So under the given initial condition, we have computed the value of arbitrary constants to get the particular solution. So that is the reduction of order. Any doubt? Now move to next question. Solve the following equation by both method of this section. Means in the section 11, reduction of order, x is missing, y is missing, and reconcile the results. Means you have to compare the result. So here we have the equation. Here we have the equation y double dash is equal to 1 plus y dash whole square. So in this equation, you can observe both x and y both are missing. So it means both method you can apply. So if you start, if you assume in this equation, if you assume that x is missing, or first case we have discussed the y is missing. So if you say y is missing, so when the y is missing, let y dash is equal to p. So y double dash is equal to dpy dx. So it will become dpy dx is equal to 1 plus p square. So when we have this 1 plus p square, so you can separate the variable 1 dp upon 1 plus p square is equal to dx. So if you integrate on both sides, so here you have to add the constant of integration. So integration of this will be the tan inverse p is equal to x plus c1. Let me have the x plus c1. So it will be the p is equal to tan of x plus c1. So tan of x plus c1, and p, you know, it is equal to dy by dx. So again you can separate the variable. So it will become dy is equal to tan of x plus c1 into dx, and integrating on both sides. So here you have to add the second constant of integration. So this will become the y is equal to minus log of cos of x plus c1 plus c2. So this is the solution for the, so here you can see that c1 and c2 are the arbitrary constant, because we have the second order differential equation, so two arbitrary constant will come here. Now if you discuss the second case, when x is missing, at that time we have to assume let y dash is equal to p, or y double dash is equal to p into dpy dy. So our equation y double dash is equal to 1 plus y dash square will reduce to p dpy dy is equal to 1 plus p square. 1 plus p square, and that can be written as, if you separate the variable, dp upon or p dp upon 1 plus p square is equal to dy. So we can separate this. So if you multiply with the 2 and divide by the 2 and integrate, so here you will have the first constant of integration. So this can be written as half log of 1 plus p square is equal to y plus c1. So this can be written as log of root of 1 plus p square is equal to y plus c1, or you can say it will become 1 plus p square is equal to e to power y plus c1. That can be written as e to power c1 e to power y.
Sir, you should write it C3 because
Yeah.
C1 is. Sir,
Pardon?
you have to write C3, sir, because C1 is in the previous equation. We
No,
don't know
I'm
if they are
comparing. Actually, I'm comparing. Means it is totally independent to A. We have the two cases. Y is missing,
Yes,
X is
sir,
missing.
got it.
So here we have the e to power c1 e to power y. So here it will become, now you can say it is the c2 e to power y. This is the constant. So now you can say this is the e to power c1 as a constant. So when we square on both sides, so you will get 1 plus p square is equal to e to or you can say c2 whole square e to power 2y. Then this c2 whole square, or it can be written as p square is equal to c2 whole square e to power 2y minus 1. So in this case, p will come root of c2 square e to power 2y minus 1. So this is your, and p, you know, it is nothing, it is the dy by dx. So when it is the dy by dx, you can separate the variable. So it will become, on one side you keep all the variable of the y. So c2 square e to power 2y minus 1 is equal to dx. So this can be written as dy upon c2 if you take common. So it will become e to power 2y minus 1 upon c2 square is equal to dx. Now when we integrate on both sides, so you have to add the another constant of integration. So this can be written as 1 upon c2 integral dy upon root of e to power 2y minus c4 square is equal to x plus c3. You integrate this. So for the integration, if you assume for the left side integration, you have to assume let e to power y is equal to c4 sec of theta. Sec of theta. So this implies sec theta is equal to 1 upon c4 e to power y, and e to power y dy is equal to c4 sec theta tan theta d theta. So this left hand side will become 1 upon c2. This left hand side will reduce to 1 upon c2, and in place of the dy it will come c4 sec theta tan theta d theta upon e to power y, and e to power y we have assumed as a c4 sec theta. So c4 sec theta, and inside here we have the e to power 2y, so that can be written as c4 square sec square theta minus c4 square, and on the right hand side we have this x plus c3. So from here what you will get, the c4 will cancel out, the c4 is cancelled out, sec theta and sec theta is cancelled out, and we have 1 upon c2 integral tan theta upon c4 tan theta d theta is equal to x plus c3. So you can say tan theta also cancel out. So we can write 1 upon c5, c2 into c4 as a 1 c5, and here we have the integral d theta x plus c3, x plus c3. So 1 upon c5 theta is equal to x plus c3, and what is the theta? Theta 1 upon c5, and theta we have assumed as right? And theta from here we have the sec inverse of the 1 upon c4 e to power y. So it will become 1 upon c4 sec inverse sec inverse
dy upon c4.
c4 e to power y, sec inverse e to power y upon c4 is equal to x plus c3, x plus c3. So that can be written as sec inverse e to power y upon c4, and here it will become x plus c5 c6, x plus c6, or you can say sec inverse of the c6 c7 e to power y.
Sir, there'll be C5 into X as well.
Yes, sir.
Actually there is a constant multiple, so that we can avoid it here. You are saying that it is the c5 into c5x plus c6, so that I am writing as a x plus c6. So here we have the x plus 6, so it will become c7 e to power y sec of x plus c6.
Can you explain how did we nullify c5?
Actually constant multiple of the solution is also the solution. If you are writing, there is no problem. If you are writing the c5 plus x6, c5 plus x6, so here we have the e to power y, right? E to power y is equal to 1 upon c7 sec of c5 x plus c6. So y will come log of, you can say c7 as a c8, so log of the c8 plus log of sec of the c5x plus c6. So it will this is the constant, so let us have this constant as a c9 minus log of the cos of c5x plus c6. So here we have the same solution, whatever the solution here we have, right? So here we have the constant minus log of the cos of the x plus c1. Only here we have the constant difference. So means both the solutions are same. Means constant multiple of the solution is also the solution. So the due to that, there is, means we can assume as a c5 as a 1. So by any approach you move, you can get the same answer.
Can you show case 1 for once?
Pardon?
Can you show the case 1 where x was missing?
This is the solution.
Sorry, y was missing. Case A.
Eh?
Case A, sir.
So this is only the case A.
Okay, sir.
Final solution. Final solution. C2 minus log of the cos of x plus c1, and here we have the c9 minus log of the cos of the x plus c6. So that is the reduction of order. So this here we have solved. So if you miss something, you can see from here also. So that's all in the chapter 1. Now we will move to the chapter 2. So in the chapter 1, we have studied the first order differential equation. Now we will move to the higher order differential equation, or explicitly second order differential equation. So in the chapter 2, we have the mainly second order differential equation, but you will get the idea how to solve the other higher order differential equation. So in this question, we will study only the general second order linear differential equation. So in the very first lecture, I have told you what is the linear equation. Linear equation means if we have all the power 1 of the dependent variable and its derivative, and there is no multiplication of the derivatives and dependent variable. So this is the, and in this highest order derivative present is the 2. So this is known as the second order linear differential equation. Most general means here we have the function of x, here we have the function of x, here we have the function of x. Always in the standard form, always we consider as a 1. By chance, if there is no 1, so just you divide, right? Just you divide with that coefficient, and you will get the standard one. So standard general second order linear differential equation will be the d2y upon dx2 plus px dy by dx plus qx y is equal to rx. So in this, we will study how to determine the solution. So for those purpose, we have the few theorems. So in the section 14, we have the 3 theorems, and in the section 15, in the next section also, we have some theorems. So to understand how to write the solution. So first theorem, please see the statement from here. The theorem A, let px, qx, rx be continuous function on closed interval a comma b. X naught is any point in AB, and if y naught and y naught dash are any number whatever, then the first means this general differential equation, general second order linear differential equation. So then the first has one and only one solution, yx, on the entire interval such that yx naught is equal to y naught and y dash x naught is equal to y dash naught. The question, the theorem states that if we have the second order differential equation d2y upon dx2 plus px dy by dx plus qxy is equal to rx. So we assume that let y is equal to fx be the solution of the given differential equation. So if we have this, this is the solution, y is equal to fx is the solution, and we are computing the solution between the closed interval AB, right? We can, so there exists a point x naught, there exists a point x naught between A and B for a given y naught and y naught dash, for a given y naught and y naught dash. So it means this is the so here this coordinate will be the x naught y naught, and y naught is given to you, and y naught is nothing, it is the f of the x naught, or you can say it is the y for the x naught. Y naught is nothing, it is the y for the x naught, and y naught dash, whatever the given, this is the given, this is given, and it is equal to the y dash for the x naught, y dash for the x naught. So question means here the theorem states that we have the unique solution. If these two conditions, there are the two numbers, there are the two given numbers, right? Then always we have the unique solution. Means we cannot have this curve passing through this point. We cannot have this curve passing through this point. Always it passes from the fixed point, x naught between a to b for a given y naught and y naught dash. Always we have the unique solution, or one graph y is equal to fx will pass. So that is this statement. Let px, qx, rx be the continuous function on closed interval ab if x naught be any point in closed interval ab, and if y naught and y naught dash are any number, right? It is not a derivative, it is arbitrary any number, 5, 6, any number, whatever. Then first has one and only one solution. One and only one solution means unique solution. Yx on the entire interval means a to b, such that y at x naught is equal to y naught and y dash at x naught is equal to y naught dash. Means this is the derivative, this is the given number, this is the y. So you can understand this thing by this example. Find the solution of the initial value problem y double dash plus y is equal to 0. Y double dash plus y is equal to 0. So here we have the y double dash plus y is equal to 0, and the condition is given to you. Yx is equal to 0 and y dash x is equal to 1. Y dash x is equal to 1. So this is what? This is the y naught dash. This is what? It is the y naught. So you know that y double dash plus y is equal to 0 if we have this. So y is equal to sin x is the solution, because when we put the y, when we compute the y dash, it will give you cos x, and y double dash it will give you minus sin x. So when we substitute all these in this equation, so it will give you minus sin x plus sin x, that is equal to 0. Also y is equal to cos x, if you compute, so y dash is equal to what? Minus sin x, and y double dash will come the minus cos x. So when we substitute all these things here, so here we have the minus cos x plus cos x is equal to 0. So you can say that y is equal to sin x, y is equal to cos x are the solution. So y is equal to sin x, y is equal to cos x are solution of y double dash plus y is equal to 0. Even y is equal to c1 cos x plus c2 sin x, means for any value of the c1 c2 is also solution of y double dash plus y is equal to 0. So it means you are seeing here we have the many solutions. For this. But as the condition is given to you, y x is equal to 0 and y dash x is equal to 1. So there exists a unique, right? There exists a unique x between a to b. So means sine of 0, we are saying that sin x is the solution. So sine of 0 is equal to 0 and sine dash x is equal to or 0 is equal to 1. That is the cos 0 is equal to 1. So only sin x will satisfy only the sin x is the solution. Sin x is the solution under the given condition. Yet for the differential equation, we have the many solution, but only the sin x will be the unique solution here under the given condition. So here we know that y is equal to sin x, y is equal to cos x, and more general, y is equal to c1 sin x plus c2 cos x. For any constant c1, c2 are the all are the solution of the differential equation. So clearly, y is equal to sin x satisfies the initial condition. Sin 0 is equal to 0 and cos 0 is equal to 1. So by the theorem A, y is equal to sin x is only solution of the given initial value problem. So in equation 1, if now in equation 1 means what? d2y upon dx2 plus px dy dx plus qx y is equal to rx. If rx is identically 0, in equation 1, if rx is identically 0, then the reduced equation means when we have this, then the reduced equation is known as the homogeneous equation. So this is the homogeneous equation. We numbered it as a 2. So y double dash plus px y dash plus qx y is equal to 0. So this is the reduced equation from the general equation, or it is the homogeneous equation. And original equation is known as the
Sir, in the above
Yes?
question, is it necessary to take x equal to 0?
Actually, the
Can't we
initial
take
condition
x
is given
equal
to you.
pi by 2?
Means
Achha.
in the interval it is given to you that means any
Interval-
value you take pi by 2 you will take, then also we have the unique solution.
Yes, sir, but interval is not given in the question, no?
Means if you
Like if the interval is closed interval 0 to pi by 2, then we have two solutions.
no actually here initial condition is given to you. Initial condition means x is equal to 0 is given to you. Means initial you can assume, but initial condition means some x is given to you for particular x you are asking.
Okay.
For the particular x you are asking, so when x is equal to 0, at that time we have the solution. When x is equal to pi by 2, then cos x will be the solution. So that x you have to specify. What is the initial condition? Initial condition is means x is given at that time. At that time, what is the value of the y and what is the value of the y dash? When I have defined the initial value problem or boundary value problem, at that time I have told you what is the difference between initial value problem and boundary value problem. Means if we have y for x is equal to 0 is equal to y naught, and y dash for x is equal to 0 is equal to y naught dash, or we can have y is equal to y for x is equal to 0 is equal to y naught, and y dash for x is equal to a is equal to ya dash. Then this is the boundary. This is the boundary because we have the two values of the x, and this is the initial condition. This is the initial condition. When we take the same x, then we have the initial condition. When we take the different x, then we have the boundary condition. And for computing the arbitrary constant, we can have the both type of the problem. So here, if you have the confusion, so at that time you can assume here that whatever the condition is given to you, you assume that x is equal to 0. Instead of that, you assume that y0 is equal to 0 and y dash 0 is equal to 1. So in that case, we have the unique solution.
Sir,
Yes.
don't we have to write a general solution? Sin x plus 2n pi.
Sine? No. That we will not write.
So but it satisfies the condition.
And it satisfies the condition, but we generally we because we have the in generally we assume for the 0 to pi by 2 or 0 to pi only. Then we have the periodic solution, and then the other things will come that I will discuss. For this example only, I will discuss, rediscuss again. Here, just I want to convey that when condition is given to you, we have the unique graph, unique solution.
Okay, sir.
In that case, if whatever you are saying, in that case, we have the means, because the sin x is this one. So condition is given to for the particular point only. Condition is given to particular point only. Then whatever your things, then for the many point we have to give the condition. As you include the n pi, then for the many point we have the condition. But we are saying that on the particular point we have the condition. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So I was discussing, when we right hand side or Rx is identically 0, then reduced equation will become the homogeneous equation. So depending over the homogeneous equation, we have this theorem B. If Yg is general solution of reduced equation 2, reduced equation 2 means homogeneous equation. Yg is general solution of reduced equation 2, and Yp is any particular solution of complete equation 1, then Yg plus Yp is general solution of the 1. Question is, theorem state that we have the second order y double dash plus px y dash plus qx y is equal to Rx. So this is the complete equation or non-homogeneous equation. And when here we have the y double dash plus px y dash plus qx y is equal to 0. So this will be the reduced equation and homogeneous equation. So we say that its general solution is the Yg and its particular solution is the Yp. Right? So this is the particular solution, and this is your general solution. Then by this theorem, Yg plus Yp is general solution of first one. Means this is the general solution of this equation. If Yp is the particular solution of the first one and Yg is the general solution of the second one, then their sum will be the general solution of the first one. That is the theorem B. Clear? That is the structure of writing the solution. Whenever we compute the solution, in this way we compute the solution. First we compute the general solution of the homogeneous equation, then we compute the particular solution of the complete equation, then their sum will be the general solution of the complete equation. So let y is equal Yg is what? Function of x, two arbitrary constants c1 c2 is general solution of 2. So why we are writing the c1 c2? Because we expect the two arbitrary constants since the given equation is of second order, and Yp is the fixed particular solution of the first one. Then let Yx be any solution whatever of the first one. So I'm saying that I'm claiming that Yg plus Yp is the general solution. Instead of assume that, we assume let Yx be any solution of the first. If I'm saying that any solution of the first means what I'm saying, it is a general solution. But what I am writing that Yg plus Yp is the general solution. It means I will prove that Yx is equal to what? Yg plus Yp. If I'm saying that Yx is the any solution of the first one, and I'm claiming that Yg plus Yp is the general solution, so I will prove that yx is equal to yg plus yp. Clear? So that is the methodology on proving this. So then we can easily show that. So from below that, yx is equal, yx minus yp is the solution of the second. So when I'm saying that let yx is equal to yg plus yp, so it means y minus yp is equal to yg. And so yg is what? Yg is the solution of the second. Yg is the solution of the second. It means y minus yp is also the solution of the second. Is solution of second. And what is the second? Second is the y double dash plus px y dash plus qx y is equal to 0. So it will come y minus yp double dash plus px y minus yp single dash plus qx y minus yp is equal to 0. So this will come y double dash my plus px y minus plus qx y minus, and here we have the yp double dash plus px yp dash plus qx yp is equal to 0. So, and what is this? First one is the, it is equal to rx, and this is it is also the rx, because yp is the solution of the first equation, and y is also the solution of the first one, right? Y is also the solution of the first one, yp is also the solution of the first one. So this will become the rx minus rx, so that will give you is equal to 0. So that it satisfy the is better here, do not write the 0. So this you have proved that it is the general solution. So when the general solution, so y minus yp is general solution of second. And what is given? Yg is general solution of second. This implies that y minus yp is equal to yg. So it will give you y is equal to yg plus yp. So that is the general solution. Y is equal to, y is what? General solution of the first one. Yp is what? Particular solution of the first one. Yg is the general solution of the second one. So their relation will be the y is equal to yg plus yp. So here let yx be any solution, whatever of first, then we can easily show from the below that yx minus yp is the solution of the 2. So in the 2 we are putting, so y minus yp double dash plus px into y minus yp dash plus qx into y minus yp. So that will become, that can be written as y double dash plus px y dash plus qx y minus yp double dash plus px yp dash plus qx yp, because both are the solution of the first one. So it is equal to rx minus rx, and that is the 0. And also yg is the general solution of 2. So yx minus yp is equal to yg, or y is equal to yp plus yg. So that is the structure of the solution of the second order differential equation. Clear these two theorem? Then theorem C, if y1 and y2 are any two solution of the 2, then c1 y1 plus c2 y2 means linear combination. It is the linear combination of solution is also the solution for any constant c1 and c2. I am saying that y1 is solution of y double dash plus px y dash plus qx y is equal to 0, and y2 is also the solution of the same equation. It implies that it must satisfy the condition. So y1 double dash plus px y1 dash plus qx y1 is equal to 0, and it will give you y2 double dash plus px y2 dash plus qx y2 is equal to 0. Now we are saying that the linear combination c1 y1 plus c2 y2 is also solution of 2, is also the solution of 2. So 2 is what? Y double dash plus px y dash plus qx y is equal to 0. So c1 y1 plus c2 y2 double dash plus px c1 c1 y1 plus c2 y2 dash plus qx c1 y1 plus c2 y2. This is the thing. So this can be written as c1 y1 double dash plus px y1 dash plus qx y1 plus c2 y2 double dash plus px y2 dash plus qx y2. And because y1 is the solution of the second one, it is equal to 0, c1 0. y2 is the solution of the second one, so this is also 0. So plus c2 into 0, so that is give you 0. So now you can say that c1 y1 plus c2 y2 is also solution of first, is the second, it is also the solution of the second homogeneous equation. Means the linear combination of two solution is also the solution. That is the in nutshell by the theorem C. So that's all from my side for today. So here we have written this thing. So in next class we continue with this second chapter. Any doubt? Have a nice day.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can we generalize this, sir, like C1 y1 plus C2 y2 plus up to Cn yn?
We can generalize.
If n solutions.
If we have if we have the nth order differential equation, just wait for one class, then it will be clear.
Okay, thank you.
In the next class it will be clear, because next theorem depend over this only.
Okay, sir.
Then wait for one class, then if still you have the doubt, then at that time you ask.
Okay, thank you, sir.